I have got a lot of mixed emotions today. On one hand, it's March 2nd, which means rent's due, and we're collecting rent, which is always a great time of the month for a landlord. On the other hand, I had a tenant move out this past weekend, and I had to go and check on the property, and it's going to be a pretty expensive turnover. My name is Chatto, and I've been a landlord for over 25 years, and I've seen a lot of things, and somehow constantly things surprise me more every day. I do something and I find something new that I've never seen before and never thought of before. So that being said, on today's special on-site episode of Chat with Chatto, I'm at one of my properties, and I'm over there getting it secure and getting it ready and getting everything in place for the turnover. And here's what I found when I got there. So let me cut to the property. Today with Chatto, we are on site at a property where I just had some tenants that were not so desirable finally move out. They've been threatening to leave for a while, and they finally have, and this is probably going to cost me a few bucks to get this thing turned over. Turnovers can be ridiculously expensive. Let me just show you how they left this place. So the first, just camera around, as I come up to the property, that literally all their stuff right here on the front of the property, right on the front of the sidewalk, which is going to completely put me in a position where if I don't get that removed quickly, I'm going to get a summons, right? Lots of damage to the walls, writing all over the walls. They left stuff behind. The place is absolutely disgusting. Of course, we've got blinds. Every single blind in the entire house is destroyed. They love destroying blinds. Again, more writing on the wall. And the kitchen, which was relatively new. There's our granite countertops, but they kind of did a good number on the cabinets. Almost every single knob is missing. The stove is an absolute mess. And like all the walls are just totally and utterly disgusting. And then we go in the backyard. I'll just show you here through the window. Look at all the crap they left us in the backyard. We're going to need at least a dumpster to get rid of all this crap. They left this place absolutely disgusting. They managed to get every single blind destroyed. They just managed to leave the place filthy. And here we are. Look at that. We're walking around. Look at that. Little cucaracha. Oh. That being said, we got to get the exterminator through here. This is definitely going to be an expensive turnover, and that's why it's so important to pick good tenants. So I'm going to end it here for the on-site portion of this episode of Chat with Chatto. I'm back. Now that you've seen the property and what everything looks like, and what it looks like after these tenants moved out, I wanted to have a quick conversation, a quick chat with Chatto, so to speak, on reserves. There's actually 3 important reasons that you need to have reserves as a landlord, and I wanted to go over them real quickly. So the first reason, right, that you want to have reserves as a landlord is you can act quickly. If I need to generate the money and figure out how to get the money together, I can't act quickly to get my turnover done or to get whatever repair I need to get done. If I need things that need to get done at my property, I need to act quickly, and without having access to reserves or capital, I can't do that. So that's the first big reason that you need to have reserves. Otherwise, things can go downhill very quickly. The second big thing that I wanted to discuss is it allows you to make good decisions. When you have reserves, you're able to make decisions based on what's going to be financially the best thing to do, right? You're going to say, okay, you know what? I got this wall ripped open. Now's the time to change the drain line in the wall, or now's the time to do this plumbing upgrade because I'm working on it. If I have to do this later, it's going to cost me a lot more money down the road because I don't have the reserves now to do it. So you're able to make better financial decisions when you have reserves. That's the second big thing. And the third big thing is it keeps you financially sound. If you don't have reserves and now you don't have a tenant and now you can't get another tenant because you can't do the work, it puts you in a position where you might not be able to make the mortgage payment. You might not be able to make the tax payment. You might start to get financially behind and destroy your credit. Right? So having reserves is also very important in that regard. So those are the 3 big reasons I think it's really important not to leave reserves as something like, oh, it'll never happen, because things happen. Things happen all the time in real estate. So again, the three big reasons are so you can act quickly, number two, so you can make great decisions, and number three, so you don't get financially put into a bad position. That being said, hopefully this video was of value. Hopefully this encourages you to make sure you have reserves. Even if it's not cash on hand, it's access to cash, whether or not you have some sort of line of credit, whether or not you have some sort of private lender you can go to get that reserve. Now this turnover, the one that I just showed you, while it is going to be expensive, I'm probably going to be able to raise the rent. Right now that I got these tenants that have been there a while out, I'm probably going to be able to raise the rent $500, $600, $700 a month, right? So I'm going to be able to make those good decisions, make the property nice, and get that increased revenue. So that being said, yeah, turnovers can definitely be very expensive, and it wouldn't be surprising now with this turnover on this property that I might not make money on this property this year. But I'm going to keep the property long term, and as time goes on, right, having that reserve allows me, right, the chance again to make these good decisions, and allows time for the asset to grow in value. It allows time for rents to go up, allows time for my wealth to build, which is extremely important. So that being said, hopefully this was of value to you. I have no idea how long we're in because we're chopping together a bunch of videos, but like, subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And as always, appreciate your hanging out and watching another episode of Chat with Chatto.